we're back. So, it's getting close to that time of year. It's about the end of March now, so I will be starting some of my seed plantings indoors today. I freed up some space on the racks. Just have the spinach now and the iceberg leaf lettuce that I'm probably just going to cut as is. I'm not going to wait till it gets any bigger, just because I'm going to need the space. And today, before I start, I'm going to be potting up the pothos that I cut a few weeks ago now. You can see that they have roots on the leaves. I did something that I don't normally do with these. There you go, more roots. I left them down here under the lights. Usually when I cut these, do these cuttings, I have them upstairs by a window or whatever else. It's been over 3 weeks now, and if you remember from the previous video, I said don't let it sit for more than 3 weeks, blah, 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 blah. What I was noticing, though, the roots weren't developing, so maybe it has something. Look how small these roots are, considering how long they've been down here. So maybe it does have something to do with the lights. I have no idea. But yeah, it's one of those interesting things. When I checked on them after the 3 week mark, they had very little roots, so I left them longer. I would have to look back on the date to see what when I actually did those cuttings. I'd have to check that video that I posted. But yeah, they've been down here much longer, but they have enough roots to start potting up now, so that's what I plan on doing. Also doing something a bit different today. For my seedling mix, I mainly use what's it called? The peat moss. That's the word. The peat moss. I'm going to try to use some of this cocoa mix that I've recently purchased. It's supposed to be better for the environment because peat moss, harvesting peat moss and selling it, they say takes years and years, like over 10 years to regenerate and recoup itself. Cocoa care? I don't know why they call it that, but cocoa care mix, I know from the husks of the coconut, is more sustainable. It doesn't take as long to regenerate after recouping. And I hear that it does potentially a better job at water retention than the peat moss. I'm kind of believing that, because this comes in these compacted bricks. They're small, compacted, and compressed and dried out. You're supposed to put them in 5 to 6 liters of waters, and it will expand. I did that 2 days ago, and I've mixed it up. I did it in a big old bucket. It's been 2 days and this thing is still moist. I thought it would have dried out after it had absorbed most of the water, but it's really holding the water. It's starting not to have a great smell either. That's why I really want to get going on this today. So I'm not completely replacing the peat moss, but I'm not using as much. So say for example, if I have 4 parts peat moss in my mix, I will do 2 parts cocoa mix and 2 parts the peat moss and put my other stuff in there. The other thing that I noticed with the stuff, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. Like for these 3 bricks, it's basically $10 a brick. So this was $30 plus tax, which I'm not a fan of that price. Maybe I can get cheaper prices at the big box store. That's where I get my peat moss. I get it from Home Depot. And this massive bag, I think, it's folded down, but trust me, it's a massive bag. The bag comes up to like here when it's fully filled. Of peat moss was maybe $12-16. So big difference. If I can find a cheaper source, I might continue to use it. or if I'm really impressed with what it's doing mixed in with my mix, maybe I will pay the extra amount for it. But we'll see the results as usual, and see what happens. Anyways, that's it. At some other point, you'll see these things potted up. I just wanted to make mention of how long it took to get these roots established, and let you know that that's what I will be doing. Potting up and starting the seeds. Good times.